Hello, and today I'm going to show you how to do my object show style in ibisPaint X, as said in the title. Now, it's important to realize that every object creator has a different style, and if they don't follow a certain style someone else is doing, it doesn't mean it's bad per se. And if someone tells you to change your style without giving any tips or ideas, that just means they want to pull you down with them. Besides that, let's get into it. So, I started with the asset as everyone does, I hope, from my asset file and add it to the background. And if I wanted to have a more freestyled, fluid movement portrayed, or if they can't have an asset, like this character Jessica, I draw it manually. Now, I add on the eyes. I usually draw one on manually, then copy and paste it to the other side. But in this case, the character has a squinted eye on the right. The reason I don't use perfect circles is because I feel the manual way gives it more life. There's a perfect circle over a manually drawn one. Quite a difference. Here's a manually drawn face, and then one with perfect circle eyes. For the color, I add a layer below and use the paint bucket. Surprisingly, all my characters except this one has white eyes. This one uses very light yellow eyes, color ID being #FFF7B6 for a more animalistic effect. Don't combine this layer with the other layer. Then onto the pupils. I usually do them round, but on occasion I do them more oval shaped, and it should look like this. But this character's pupils dilate, or shrink and expand, like a cat's. It's just in this image, they are happy. Next is the mouth. I usually do it bean shaped, but I also do it like a D facing downward. For the coloring, I also make a layer below it and paint bucket it with this nice deep red. Its color ID being #A60019. Then I do the tongue. It's like a little hole that's the opposite way in the mouth than the character is actually facing. The color ID being #DD3633. And I do the teeth, always on the top unless the character's mouth is wide. Of course, this mouth type takes inspiration from BFDI and the epic face. Don't combine this layer with the other layer too. Instead, combine it with the eye color layer, unless you want the eye whites to glow. I then go to the limbs, usually the hardest part for me. I draw the first arm, making sure I want that length to be the length I want the other arm or arms to be. If the rest of the arms are in the same pose, I just copy and paste it. It saves time and stress. If the arms aren't the same, I make sure that the arms are the same length after I draw them. When I draw the hands, I try to make the circles closer to perfect than the eyes. After that, I just copy and paste the hands so they won't be lopsided. The legs are just L's with the bottom part being shorter. The legs are usually, if not always, longer than the arm lengths. And finally, any last details you want on. But for this character, they have a tail and sharp teeth. Of course, manually drawn on. But they can glow as well. So take that layer without the color, duplicate it, and then add the Gaussian blur in blurs and filters. You can make this any color you please. Hope you enjoyed, and you will use this if you want. This style is for anyone to use after all, so bye! But please don't steal my characters.